Hey guys, today I want to talk about having a written retirement plan. And the reason why I say have a written retirement plan is by writing it down, it's kind of like having like a compass. And you have to have a compass to kind of guide you. And by writing things down and having a plan and reevaluating it possibly as much as every 6 months and taking a look at it to see where you're at. Because once you get into your retirement, you still need to plan your retirement. A lot of people don't have a plan for their retirement. They don't write it down. And with me, I reevaluate my retirement quite often, probably more than every 2 or 3 months probably. I actually, when I look at my budget, I kind of reassess it a little bit too. I always keep it in my thoughts like, okay, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? You know, you have to. There's also a thing as going a little bit overboard, in which some cases I might be a little bit like that too. But at least I feel like I'm safe. You know, and I just want to get people into like a habit of kind of writing down their retirement, writing down their ideas, where they want to be, knowing what it's going to cost later on, roughly. Because you can kind of look into your retirement crystal ball a little bit and kind of know where you're at. You know, because you can kind of figure out what Social Security is going to give you for COLAs and actual inflation rates and how much you're losing and things like that. A lot of guys, they just wing it. You know, like, I'm just going to go retire. I'm just going to go spend. And then they find themselves in trouble. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the United States or in the Philippines or you're in you're an expat or what have you. Everybody should have a written plan. Because, like for me, my situation is like I have a certain amount of money coming in right now, and I'm 58 years old. Now at 68 or 70, if I want, I can take my Social Security, or I can take it earlier if I want. So I know in the future I have some money coming in that's going to help me to boost me later on when I get older, and when I reach 75, I'm going to have that much more money because I'm also putting money aside now, and I'm putting it in good, decent stocks. I'm putting some of it in dividend stocks. So I know that I'm going to have more income also from those dividends later on. So I know where I'm going to be. And fortunately, right now, like some of my planning, I started like last year, even more so because of what happened with this mess that we're currently in right now. I started getting a little bit more aggressive investing, but also having like a little bit of it into like dividend stocks like SRET. There's a few others that I haven't. I'm not going to tell you which ones to invest in. Do your research, because I'm not a stockbroker, okay? And I also get into Tesla and the ARK funds and stuff like that. And I don't want to tell older people in their 70s to get into ARK funds because ARK funds is like a wait. It's kind of a 10-year wait to see where you're going to be in 10 years. Those funds go up and down, and as you can see right now, they're kind of going down. Now's a good time to invest for somebody that has that 10-year window and maybe has like at least 20 to 25 years or 30 years left in their life. Hopefully, I'll live to be in my late 70s or early 80s or something like that. I hope. I'm 58, so I got 68, 78. So 20 years for me, is probably a decent window to look at, maybe 80, because people in my family live a long time. Now over here, I don't know if I'll live that long because a lot of expats just don't live that long here. They live because of the medical care, because of the food, things like that. The average age is probably like about 72 for the average expat over here, just like it is for the average Filipino, okay? And a lot of that has to do with the lifestyle over here. But anyway, you have to have that written plan, guys. You have to be able to look at all this stuff and say, hey, where am I going to be? And for me, I have that 20-year window. So I plan on taking that money out in 10 years and dumping it all into into dividend-paying stocks, okay? And when it goes into those dividend stocks, it'll kick me off such and such an amount, maybe 5 to 8%, depending on which one I'm in. Right now, it's been paying me pretty decent because it's kind of almost like a growth in income. One of the stocks that I'm in, one of the ETFs. So I do really, really well on that. And I'm not saying all ETFs are going to be like that. Each one is different, and they go up and down, but they still kick off the dividends. But they all bounce up and down. But that dividend is a lifesaver because you can live off that. And then when you pass away, you're leaving it for somebody else, possibly your wife, your girlfriend, or somebody in the family, your kids, your children, whatever. That's up to you. But to have that written down and to have a plan is the best thing you can do. And everybody's plan is going to be different than my plan because everybody has different pensions. Everybody has different 403Bs, 401Ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, regular IRAs, pensions. Some people's pensions kick in later, some kick in early. Everybody's different. But you need to write these down and get this figured out. Where are you going to be? And make sure you're safe because when you hit that magical moment of 75 and insurance rates go boom, are you going to be safe? And you need to have that planned in your written retirement plan. And remember, the written retirement plan is like a compass. And if you don't have a written retirement plan, you should have one. I mean, just doing it in your head is not enough. You need to write some of this down and plan it and then look at it every so often and reassess it. And say, is this still feasible? Am I losing money now because of my lifestyle, or am I able to save for my future still? Because even though we're getting older, we still have to save for our future in case of emergencies, things like that. And a lot of people think like, well, I'm retired. My next stop is I'm going to die. No, not. Yeah, you will eventually, but you could be healthy for another 20 years. You don't know. My godfather, he's 97 years old. And I'll bet you he's probably got another 10 years in him. And I hope to God he does live another 10 years because he's pretty healthy, and he's happy. He's happy living, So I mean, that means a lot too if you're happy and you're retired. But he has the money to do it, to live, and he lives quite well. I mean, he's had to stay inside because of the current mess lately, and I'm sure that kind of is rough. But he does get out and walk around his yard. He does take his car down and walk around the park once in a while, things like that. But other than that, he's been doing really, really good. And you guys could live that long too, and you need to plan just in case you do live that long, because you don't want to outlive your retirement. Outliving your retirement is the worst possible thing that can happen to a retiree, and that's from lack of planning. And we as retirees and expats really seriously need to evaluate our plans, because I see a lot of people coming over here and this 600 and 800 and we always get into that, and it just I look at these people that are talking about living on these crazy budgets and stuff like that, and it's like it's just not doable. Your best is just stay home and see what you can get back home as far as like maybe some sort of subsidy or welfare or something like that back home versus living over here and getting sick. But most people that come over here do have enough to live over here. They do have enough to make it. Most people do. But over here, you do need to save for when you get older. I see a lot of people coming over here in their 60s. Yeah, insurance is still fairly reasonable, but save for that time when it hits that higher amount, or self-insure. And we always talk about this part, but I mean, I don't want to get into too much of the insurance thing. I want to get more into the writing it down, okay? Because the writing it down is the key, because at least that way, if you can even do it on a whiteboard like I talk about, because if you do like I did, okay, and I planned my retirement on the whiteboard. I planned everything I had to do to come over here on my whiteboard, and I still have a whiteboard today, even though I'm already over here. My planning has never stopped. Even though I'm already here and I'm fairly successful, that whiteboard has been my success because I can write things up there. I can write where I'm at. I can look at my budget right away and say, okay, I got this much going into there for savings, this much going into there for savings. I know where my money's going because my whole budget, my whole amount of income is my budget. And then I break it up. And a lot of people say, well, your budget is really what your household costs are. No, your budgets really should be your whole income. And I keep repeating this because a lot of people think that excess income is just spending money. It shouldn't be spending money. You should have a miscellaneous for spending money. and then take from that miscellaneous or whatever, and set aside some amount for yourself so that you're happy and you live in a good retirement. But you should also have an amount set aside also to just put some in its savings for the future and stuff like that, and just plan, guys. Be really plan. You have to have that whiteboard up, or at least write it on a piece of paper or something, and really have a great thing to look at up there on the wall that you can say, okay, I know where this is going. I know where I'm going to be because look, I'm saving $350 a month. Every 3 months I got $1,000 I'm saving, so I'm doing pretty good. Give yourself something to look at and feel good about. Make sure that's going into your account and it's staying there. Whether you invest it or you put it into your bank account or in a savings account or what have you, it doesn't matter. Just have a plan, guys. Have a compass to guide you, so you're going in the right direction. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps a little bit. God bless, guys. Take care.